Hey everybody, and another week in D1A rugby and too many blowouts. It's a little bit concerning, I think, for some teams, but it's also just tough when you have programs that are just so on top of what they're doing and the recruiting and the depth and everything like that. So they kind of hit the ground running, even though they say, well, working out the rust, blah, 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 but it's like they're still winning by massive amounts. So too many blowouts in the West Coast, so we're sort of list some of the scores, but we're not going to get into it with too many of these things that just attract me. But we will look at one just because I felt like it, which was Cal Poly over San Diego State. And really, that's because we had a really nice try that I wanted to show you. And this one, coming off a scrum and a good crash up by fly half Kobe Baker. Nobody plays center, but is playing fly half here. And quick ball, and he immediately just pops it out to the scrum half, Sam Weston. And a lovely show and go from Nico Domini, the fullback, and he then kicks ahead. And here's the thing, have a look at this. Watch the lock, Tyler Roberts. He just outpaces everyone to get to that ball. And then he does a smart thing, because when he's picking up the ball, he's stationary. He just pops it to Wyatt O'Connor, the flanker, who's running onto it. O'Connor scores. It's just, that was a nice try, a well executed team try. Cal Poly won comfortably over San Diego State. San Diego State in a very big rebuilding phase. Cal Poly, as I said, a team to watch this season. Same deal, really. UCLA versus UC Santa Barbara, although a little bit closer. And one of the things I wanted to show you here was just a good try from the Gauchos. The rugby ball is kind of funny shape, right? It's bounces a little bit differently. So just everybody on this play is expecting the ball to roll into touch. It's not rolling into touch. Fullback Lucas Green for UCSB picks it up and races past four players to score a brilliant try. And actually, Green scored both of his team's tries in this game. But you'll see UCLA fullback Josh Cox is chasing him down, and he gets a little bit measure of revenge. And look at this next play. UCLA has a scrum center, and really good shove from them, and their set piece was on. Their scrum is looking really good. Cox just pops this kick over for the chasers, and he gets more than one. Great chase from Sergio Raccia, and he unselfishly passes to Dan Joyce for the try. So that's a nice one. But really, that was a flashy one. There actually weren't a lot of flashy tries from UCLA. Most of the tries were penalty by UCSB. They kick for the line out. They take the line out. They take the maul, and they maul it over. This is one of the better ones, I think, just because they kept concentrating while things were splintering around them. Sam McMillan goes over, and he does really well because he's taken down before the try line. And he doesn't do too many fussy movements. He just says, okay, I can reach that. Reach over, score the try. Good performance as usual from UCSB's rocket scientist Danny Bray, the prop with the long blonde hair. But many, many more pieces of the puzzle for UCLA. This video is brought to you by Next Phase Rugby, which is an app that allows high school rugby players to connect with college rugby programs around the country. Those programs can be school supported, club, all kinds of different ones. 450 are already on the app, and thousands of collegiate hopefuls are also on the app. Download the app if you're a college, or if you are a high school player looking for a college, go to nextphaserugby.com. There's a discount code for the premium level for high school players at the bottom of the screen. And good luck with your college search. It's also brought to you by USA Rugby Foundation, which is an organization that supports grassroots rugby around the country, and your donation can help build this great game of ours. Also brought to you by Irish Rugby Tours. Touring is a great way to expose your players to the global nature of rugby. Go to Irish Rugby Tours. They don't just do Ireland. They do all kinds of different countries: Spain, Portugal, New Zealand, South Africa, the UK. That's just a smattering of what they can do for you. Go to irishrugbytours.com. And this video is also brought to you by Panther Rugby Academy, providing elite playing and training opportunities for players throughout the South and more extended version of the South, Panther Rugby Academy. Check them out. And I also want to thank a new kit provider, which is 8x8 Sports. You can't see their logo on this shirt, although you can see it on others, but there's the back of the same shirt because I have more than one. And several other great kit. And we'll be having merchandise available very soon as well. So I'm excited about that. Thanks to 8x8 Sports. It's 8x8sports.com. Okay, so on to the close game, and that would be Central Washington against University of Victoria. UVic ran out to an early lead and then got another lead and then got another lead, and Central Washington just kept coming back, and that was pretty impressive. And how did they do that? Well, a couple of reasons. One of them, the scrum. They were pretty strong in a set piece in stealing ball from the line out, and here you have a look in the scrum. They put UVic under pressure, they get the penalty, and then a really nice, a quick tap from Kai Jones, and look how quickly everybody gets into their shape. Very nice, and then tip pass from Dan McQuaid to Sawyer Troop, and he is in for a power try, so that was very nice. That one got them a little bit closer, and then one of the other factors was wing Oscar Tracy, who scored 3 tries. He scored a great one off a wide kick from Jack Tregoning. But we'll see this one. This is really more of a team try. They're really putting UVic under pressure, running really aggressively. The Wildcats kind of smell blood in the snow at this point, and then kind of bashing up against the wall of the UVic defense, and then they get out wide, and Tracy, beautiful sidestep and gets over. So that one ties it up, and the kick from Tregoning puts them up by 2 points. And then have a look at this one. This is just a great individual effort on the counter from Tracy. That ices it at 38-29. A really good win for Central Washington. I don't think head coach Todd Thorney was overly impressed with that, but it was pretty good. Okay, well, I mean, that's kind of what happened here. I mean, as I said, I showed you the scores. So what I'd like to do is really look ahead to some of the games that are coming up. Now, we talked about the Challenge Cup second tier playoff that D1A is working on. Sort of a final 8, 4 from the West, 4 from the East, in a Challenge Cup thing. So if you're a team that's, hey, you play pretty good rugby, but you don't get into that round of 16, this is sort of a playoff to cap off the season, where I think we'll see a lot of those kinds of games this coming week, as to where those teams fit. At least on the West Coast. But looking ahead to February, and this is just what's happening in February, keep an eye out of all of those games. I think Sacramento State just got their first ever win in D1A. They play UC Santa Cruz, right behind me there. Keep an eye out for that one. But let's have a look ahead to February, because this is where things heat up quite significantly. If you look at some of the games that are on there, you've got UCLA at Cal. You've got Lindenwood at Mount St. Mary's. That's one really interesting one, because Mount St. Mary's looked very good at the end of the fall. Cal Poly at Central Washington. I said Cal Poly, a breakout team. That's a good test for them, Central Washington. Penn State at Mary Washington. That's an interesting one. Adrian at McKendree, weather permitting, although I think they'll probably play in the snow. They don't care in the Midwest. And Lindenwood at Arkansas State. These are all big games. They're not even close to the biggest games in the month. I mean, they're great. I mean, it's important. But what if you look at BYU at St. Mary's, UBC at Cal? That rivalry game is back, which is great to see. Life at Lindenwood, right, which is often a decider as to what's happening on the East Coast. Cal at Navy. That's pretty cool. That's a rematch of the final from 2 years ago. And Central Washington at St. Mary's, which is an ongoing rivalry between those two, and a really big one for both of them. So that's all coming up in just the next few weeks. I've not even gotten into March yet. So that's what we've got in D1A. Keep an eye on Goff Rugby Report for more from those divisions, and we'll see who gets into that Challenge Cup.